Hi, folks. Hope everybody's okay today. I just wanted to announce to everybody today um, something that's been going on YouTube for some time, and there's been a wrong impression being made by the atheist community on YouTube. And that wrong impression is this: if you look at some of the famous atheists, like any famous atheist you want to talk about, you'll find that they'll have thousands of subscribers in the hundreds of thousands. And you'll also find that they will have their videos liked more than disliked. You'll also find that their opponents' videos will be disliked more than liked. Now, I didn't think there was, I really have not thought much about it over the last few years, although I did read an article where I found that a lot of people with large subscriber base are often paying for those subscribers to various companies. And I did mention that I felt that the atheist community, some of the famous atheists, were actually doing that. They were actually paying for the subscribers, that it wasn't representative of the actual numbers that they had actually got subscribing to them. However, I think that is correct. I think that there's more going on here than meets the eye. And I'll explain why. I ran a Google Hangout a couple of days ago called Please Convince Me. And there was two specific atheists. Well, there was five that I kicked off because they were being rude and uncouth. And they were trying to mute me on my own channel. And they were working together as a cyberbullying ring. So I kicked them off. And what I noticed is two of these very famous atheists kept coming back onto my channel, but with different YouTube accounts. And it wasn't just one change of YouTube account, but each of the prescribed atheists came back on with one, I think, was about 5 different accounts, and another about 3 or 4 different accounts. And they were able to do this within minutes. And then it dawned on me, that that's what's been happening. If you look at my videos, all my videos, you can go on the video, Please Convince Me, and you'll see in the middle of the video, about the 2-hour mark, you'll see Alex Button and JD Kane coming back on when they've been kicked off with different sock accounts, many different sock accounts. And what I've noticed, if you go to any of my videos, you'll have 30, 40, maybe even 100 dislikes, and maybe 6 or 3 likes at the most. And I think what's happening there is there are a small number of atheists working with multiple sock accounts, striking my videos and saying dislike. And I've noticed this is a trend on a lot of Christian apology sites, that they're getting an undue proportion of dislikes on their videos. And I think this is the activity of Alex Borton and JD Kane and many, many others who were involved in this ring of sock accounts. And I think this extends right across the atheist spectrum. I think it goes even into the Magic Sandwich Show. I mean, I caught an article the other day by Hogtie Champ complaining that sock accounts were being used against him in Iron Raw. But I suspect it's the other way around. I suspect that they're using sock accounts against others. It's often those who complain are the most guilty in this scenario. especially in soccer count, in this soccer count situation. So there's been a false impression made on YouTube that Christian apologists are getting dislikes, and everybody thinks, oh, that's the general public on YouTube, but actually it's a small minority of atheists who are actually involved in a cover-up, pretending to be the public when actually they're not. And it was exposed on my channel, and we saw it, the evidence is there on the video Please Convince Me, where within minutes Alex Bolton and JD Kane appeared with multiple soccer accounts. Now imagine the power that you can wield if you have multiple soccer accounts like that, where you can change your identity and maneuver and manipulate YouTube at your will with these multiple soccer accounts. It shows a pathological distortion within their brains that they would do that. And I've noticed that you'll go along YouTube and you'll find atheist comments, nasty comments against True Empiricism, against G-Man, against Richard Raspberry, against Arcane, against many, many others, Bible thumping wingnut. And these comments will often will be by different people, but in the same style or with the same kind of language. So it's basically the same people, but using different soccer accounts. Now, if the FBI did research into this, if they were to do research into this, I think what they would find is a massive scandal of great proportions, that this would go, I suspect that this goes right at the heart of the atheist leadership in the world today. Now, if the FBI was to investigate this and to take it right to the heart of the top atheist leaders, I suspect that many, many of them are involved in these soccer accounts where they're getting they're getting 50,000, 100,000 subscribers, but I suspect many of those subscribers are what they've invented or their friends have invented. I mean, if you've got 100 friends and each one of them set up 100 soccer accounts and then they subscribe to you, that makes you look a powerful individual on YouTube. And I suspect that many of the key famous atheists on YouTube, like Thunderfoot, Iron Ra, Cult of Dusty, Amazing Atheist, Reptilian, King Crocoduck, many, many others. I suspect that that's what's happened, that they've got 10, maybe 30, 40 friends who've multiplied their soccer accounts and subscribed to them, and then that's how they've built their subscriber base. That's what it seems to me. There's something not quite right here. There's something not quite right. There's definitely on a very basic level, very basic level, Alex Bolton and JD Kane enlightened us, exposed to us how the atheist community are behaving with soccer accounts. I've seen it done on Rand Campbell's show where they've appeared with multiple soccer accounts. Now, if 100 atheists are operating with just 6 soccer accounts, imagine the confusion, the bullying, the misrepresentation that you can do with that amount of power. And if Alex Bolton and JD Kane have been caught red-handed on my show doing it, how much more is it going on with little kids who are playing with computers, who are atheists? How many of them have made up multiple soccer accounts? how many of them have subscribed to atheist channels, making the atheist channel look as if they've got 100,000 subscribers, but actually they've got about 4,000 subscribers, because most of those people have had multiple sock accounts. It's interesting. I suspect there's a lot of dishonesty going on here, a lot of dishonesty. So watch out for the multiple sock account scandal. If we could get access to the FBI's tracking system, which tracks Google and tracks various YouTube channels and things, we'd be able to find out, but we can't get access to the FBI's tracking systems. But I bet you if we did, I bet you we would find that Alex Borton will be multiplied by the thousand, that there will be literally thousands of atheists out there with multiple sock accounts, pretending to be individual subscribers, but actually they're just sock accounts, buffeting and strengthening and giving the impression to the public that these atheists are famous and that they've got big subscribers. Also, if we could do some research on it, I bet you we would find that, for example, take Van and Feng X, I bet you that there has been a multiple sock account campaign against him over the last 4 years. I bet you if we looked at all the comments that have been made against him, that looks at, let's say it's 5,000 people that have made comments, nasty comments or not so good comments against him, I bet you it wouldn't actually be 5,000. I bet you it'd be about 50 people, but who've made sock accounts and made it look as if loads of people are against Venom Fang X. And I think that's the same with many other Christian apologists. If you believe what I'm saying, if you don't believe what I'm saying, I challenge you to look at Please Convince Me video and look at the middle of the video and see it going, this sock account war going on before your very eyes, with Alex Borton and JD King coming on to the show when they've been kicked off with multiple sock accounts, and they must be using these sock accounts in a very powerful, effective way to minimize the influence of Christian apologists. And if famous atheists like Alex Borton are involved in this, how much more will other atheist shows like Atheist Experience, Magic Sandwich Show, and many others, how much more will they be involved in it, or could be involved in it, or might be involved in it, or at least know about it, have not said anything about it, and maybe have encouraged it by not saying anything about it. Maybe they've gained influence, unproportional influence, by this sock account shenanigans that's been going on. I don't know, but it seems to me that it's a possibility, a strong possibility, that this goes much deeper and farther than we actually think. And if anyone doubts whether I'm telling the truth or not, just go and see the Please Convince Me video with J-Ball and see for yourself this actually before your eyes, how it operates, and see if that's what they can do just on a show where they're appearing in multiple different accounts. If that's the case, then multiply that to say 100 atheists or 1,000 atheists, then what they're doing, they're having an unproportionate influence on YouTube, and it's a pretense. Those are my thoughts anyway. So, but it's been exposed that what is happening is there is a campaign against Christian apologists by multiple atheists using multiple sock accounts and giving the wrong impression against to the public. That's, you know, and I think what they've done is they've also used this methodology against me to try and make me look bad, to try and smear me. and they're using these soccer accounts for smear campaigns. So I would check. If you get 2 negative comments about a Christian apologist, I would check the sources of those accounts and try and work out whether they're a sock account or whether they're actually individual people who are actually voicing their own opinion, and not some atheist who's multiplied their voice with multiple sock accounts and pretending to be people when they're not people, but just sock accounts. It's pretty dire stuff that Alex Borton and JD Kane have got mixed up in, and it's sad, really. All right. It's a shame that they can't fight fair, but there we are. It's just something to be aware of anyway. I might be pushing this out of proportion, but I think there's certainly some truth to it. It would be amazing if the FBI did some kind of research on it and published it, but I doubt they will. Anyhow, thank you for listening and take care.